Professor Subramanian sir.
And Dr. Anil, please announce the next conference dates.
Yes. Okay. Uh, Sir, okay, sir. So now I would like to request Professor Subramanian sir. Sir, later after this we will announce date is 8 to 5. Sir,
It is July 8 and 9, 2022.
at your lecture, expert talk. Sir, first of all, sir, congratulations to you for your department, newly established department. However, it has a long history for the 35 year back. It's the Center for Energy Studies, and recently it has been converted into the Department of Energy Science and Engineering. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So once again, good morning to all. And first of all, I thank Professor Anil for informing our Center for Energy Studies converted into Department of Energy Science and Engineering. So this is all effort by our faculty members and our director. And also it's a recognition of 45 years of service of energy education in this country. We are pioneer of energy education in this country. Now our center is converted into Department of Energy Science and Engineering. And also I'm very glad to inform you, we have started a new BTech program in energy engineering. The admission will be started from this year through JE Advanced. Apart from that, we have 3 MTech program, 1 MS research, and 1 doctoral program. So we are all welcoming you for if you want to upgrade or attach with us through project or any other academic contribution, it's a highly welcome. Today I will present my talk on Indian energy security. The title has given by Professor Anil and Professor Amit. I readily accepted this title. Yes, we are also involving past 1 year Indian energy security with Niti Aayog. All you know, Niti Aayog, Government of India, is taking a lot of initiative to address the energy security for a long time. And we are also part of certain initiative how to resolve the issues of energy security. I think Professor your case, Vice Chancellor also highlighted many things, and Professor Garg also, and they gave a very good introduction to energy security. And why this is very important, energy security, why you talk at this moment. We will see what are the status of energy security and what are the challenges and how to address and what are the way forward. I will highlight some points and you can brainstorm. Other speaker also will present in many aspects. As per United States of Sustainable Development Goals, the 7th point, affordable and clean energy. Out of 17 goals, the 7th goal is affordable and clean energy. So this is United States of Sustainable Development Goal. If you look at the GDP versus normalized values, 1971, there. So the GDP increases. This is GDP, and energy consumption also increases. it's a linear? No, it's not linear. Again, energy consumption by majorly three sector. One is industrial sector. Another one is the service sector or commercial sector. And third is agriculture sector. And of course, another one, residential. Again, this is which is industrial sector performing well, the energy consumption pattern will be slightly going high. If service sector, agriculture sector is performing well, energy consumption slightly declining because energy consumed by this sector is lower than industrial. So somehow you can, anyhow, the GDP versus energy consumption can be correlated. And we are talking now 8.5 and it will be in future 10.5 GDP and go beyond. We need more energy for attaining the targeted GDP. What is energy security definition? As per IEA definitions, energy security means uninterrupted availability of energy resources at an affordable price. So uninterrupted energy supply, that means 24 into 7 into 365 days. And it should be affordable price. Anyone can access the energy at affordable price. This is the definition. And it's a long-term security and short-term security. Depends on supply-demand balance. And the energy security will come more highlight. We have to limit the global temperature less than 2 degrees centigrade. Then only, because beyond 2 degrees centigrade increases, lot of irreversible will happen. That will be very harmful to environment. Glacier melt, frequent flood, drought. Some of the island will immerse because water level increase in the ocean. So we have to reduce the average temperature rise below 2 degrees centigrade. For that, we have to reduce the carbon dioxide emission by 2050. That is another challenges. We have to reduce the carbon content in energy resources. If you go white paper of our energy security, so we are importing crude oil 85%. And the LPG 60% and LNG almost 50%. If you look at the reserve to production ratio for our country, 15.5. What do you mean that? The as usual business scenario, the same way we are consuming of today, another 15 years, our crude oil resources will be vanished. So we are having totally 600 million tons of crude oil reserve. That is very low. It will not meet the demand. Even you can compare with world. Also, another 50 years only. This is as usual business scenario. If increase GDP, then this figure will come down. So far we are depending on other countries, especially Gulf countries, for crude oil. But now that is also will get vanished another 30 to 50 years. That is another challenge we have to take. Indigenously address what is the alternative to crude oil for transport sector in this country. Coal, we are having surplus. It will come on 40 years. That is one abundant we are having sources, but the problem will be CO2 emission from particulate matter from the coal-based power plant. So the CO2 emission is restricted. So how to use coal? Another challenges. In future, we can't use coal as a fuel in power plant because of CO2 and particulate matter and other emissions. And coal plant with carbon capture storage is possible. Economically, how viable and how much we can reduce. That is also another plan, coal with carbon capture, storage, or utilization, CCSU or CCS, storage or sequestration. Similarly, natural gas implemented in Delhi in the vehicle fleet, that is also we are importing 50%. We have to address the alternative one. So in India also very less reserve of the primary energy consumption, primary energy resources. Primary energy, let us take coal. Coal is used in power plant for generating electricity, and coal is used in the industry, especially steel and cement for heating applications. So these are the primary. What will be alternate, like a crude oil, usually transport sector, and some very person in the industry. The natural gas also using ammonia industry, fertilizer, transportation, even industry. Natural gas. What are the alternatives? So in fossil fuel energy resource, in India it's very low. The same way, world also reserve is very low. If you look at our energy balance of India, the imports of coal, first is the production this much, for 433 million tons, but import 160 million tons of coal. And crude oil, we are indigenous production is 32 million tons, but our requirement for meeting by import is 231 million tons. So this crude oil is almost 85% import from other countries. Of course, crude oil, but in case of coal, we are having that, but again, no coal having a lot of issues with Indian coal, and also we are depending on that. So this is a concern of the Indian energy scenario. Another one, the industry. Industry needs electricity as well as heat. Usually coal is used for electricity generation and heat. The industry is consuming more amount of coal, 224 million tons, and other iron 53 million tons, and chemical, non-ferrous material, and mining, paper, construction, textile, and other industry. These are the breakup of our primary energy source is being used in the industry of iron, steel, and other. So if steel industry using coal for heating application and coal for captive power generation purpose, if coal if stop because of emission pollution constraint, what will be alternative? It's a solar thermal and solar photovoltaic for electricity generation, solar thermal for heat. What is the economically possible? What is the affordable and continuous uninterrupted energy supply 24/7, like a renewable, especially solar, having constraint, it will only available in daytime. In the night time, the solar energy is not available. We need energy storage device and system. Then only the solar energy can be supplied 24/7 to the industries and commercial use. So another challenges will be energy storage with the solar, either solar thermal or solar photovoltaic devices and system. The similar fashion, wind can produce 24/7, but the capacity factor will fluctuate. Some of the months will be capacity factor will be 30% to 50%. Some other months will be slashed to less than 20%. That means whatever the generating capacity, only 20 to 30% is possible normal time, or even less, it is not. But coal-based, it can be possible. It can touch even 60%, 70% of its capacity factor. That means if you have 100 gigawatt of coal, almost 60, 70 gigawatt, you can readily use it 24/7. So capacity factor wise and the capital investment point of view, coal-based and natural gas power plant is still attractive. And solar, is it possible to translate off all energy requirement by renewable? So that we have to do a lot of research work, a lot of study, a lot of brainstorming. Then only we can come to give an answer whether all renewable can meet the energy requirement or the energy mix. If you look at the transport sector, oil product, natural gas. In Delhi, natural gas is using mainly and petroleum product. The transport around 47 million tons, and among 35 million tons is being used by road vehicles, automotive vehicles on the road, and aviation flight around 8 million tons, and rail 2 million tons, and other domestic. So the 47 million tons of petroleum product is being used by transport sector, and this is 85% or lands from other countries. What will be alternative? This is emissions from the energy resources. The sustainability. One is GDP increases. Another way is the emissions are dumping to atmosphere. This is not sustainable. So how to balance it both? So this is the field combustion activities alone. It is coming around 2092 gigakilogram or 20 lakhs gigagram of CO2. So how to reduce it? We are also committing 30% CO2 reduction. Ministry of Environment Forest. So they are talking 15 to 20% of another 5 to 10 years. How to reduce the carbon dioxide emission from the energy system, either transport engines or automotive engines or power plant or combined, and other sectors, the manufacturing sector around 1206 gigakilogram, and transportation and other sector. The energy indicators for sustainability. So how much total primary energy sources category, ton of oil equivalent per person? It's around 0.7 ton of oil equivalent per person. So GDP or per capita, energy consumption per capita. How much energy more use, your life quality will be higher. So our energy use pattern is lower compared to world. Some of the developed country, our energy use per capita is low. To increase, you can check it your home. How much energy usage? Can it possible to switch on your air conditioner 24/7 in the summer? Can you switch on your heater in the winter 24/7? So this air conditioning and heater is not luxury. It is a need for human comfort. But how to achieve the affordable energy? We have to work together to achieve that much energy price level. So, and the reserve to production ratio. Reserve to production ratio, even all 187, coal is 224, lignite is 161. But in case of crude oil, it's around 19. That is another 15 to 19, because the methodology will be different, calculating earlier 15.5 as per DT. But here 19 for as per our calculations, that means Indian experts. Its methodology will be slightly different. That's what the figure will be slightly deviating. But however, it's the indicative figure. We can understand how the crude oil will be available in this country. The natural gas also that. So this is the one we can say reserve to production ratio. And the production pattern also. So this is the fuel share. Crude oil is 27%, natural gas 6%, and coal 64% of primary energy sources. So how to reduce it? Because of CO2 and particulate, is it possible 0%? And crude oil also will get it 0%. If you put 0% by hypothetically, what will be alternative? And we will see other options. The nuclear, hydro, and renewables are coming 8.9, hydro 9.7, nuclear 2.7. So this can be increased. That can offset of usage of coal and crude oil. These are the energy security. Energy security, the import. The net energy import depends overall 41.63. That means almost 59% only where our indigenous resources available to fulfill the energy demand. Remaining almost 50%, 40% from other country. Among 41%, 87% from other Gulf countries, and natural gas is again other countries, and coal also we are importing. So now 41% to how will come to 30%? Sorry, increasing. So this is 30%. That means our indigenous means 70%, 20, 9, 10, 0. How to achieve 40% to 0%? That means in other ways it will be 70% of energy security to 100%. Now 60% energy security to 100%. How to achieve? These are the energy indicators for sustainable along with CO2 emission reduction of targeting 30%. The solution to the problem, one is renewable energy. This short-term courses also aimed to brainstorm what is the role of renewable energy on Indian energy security. We have seen white paper on primary energy supply in this country. Now, what are the solutions to the problems? One is renewable energy. In this case, all India, the distribution you can say, the wind power at 100-meter height, around 27% is a potential. And small hydro 1.93, biomass 1.6, coal generation buckers 0.46, and waste energy 0.23, and solar energy 68%. And our potential will be around 1097 gigawatts. Now 1097 gigawatts. This is the megawatts or otherwise. So this much potential, almost 2-3 is from solar, 70%. Another almost 1/3 is wind. And our Vice Chancellor also highlighted the wind. Yes, our expert, scientist, researcher find out the solution for the sustainable wind power generation. The act is not only for human, rightly said, it is all other organisms, herbivore, carnivore, scavenger, microorganism, all will be like us, we are teeth. So that is also important for maintaining proper ecosystem. So now you can get the idea of our estimated potential of renewable energy. 2/3 will come solar, 1/3 will come wind. Other maybe some percentage hydro, biomass, cogeneration, waste energy. Like this. This is one from renewable side plus nuclear, like a thorium fuel is available in this country. So uranium to thorium, like Dr. APJ is designed one of the thorium used in this country. And also shale gas and hydrate. These also other untapped potential, even coal bed, methane, CBM. Many resources are available and other things, ethanol also from sugar crop and other lignocellulose crop. These are potential of renewable energy of every state. Andhra Pradesh having around 42 gigawatt of wind power and 88 gigawatt of solar energy, and Chhattisgarh also 18 gigawatt of solar, and Himachal and even Jammu Kashmir, you can see The solar energy around 111 gigawatt, Karnataka, Maharashtra 45 gigawatt, and solar 64 gigawatt. You can check with your native state, Rajasthan 18 and 14, and Tamil Nadu 33 gigawatt wind and solar. So these all available potential. This will be helpful to the investor coming to invest of their for the renewable energy sector. So these are already available. So all India level also available. 1097 gigawatt renewable energy is available. And the first phase, the targeting around 150 gigawatt, 175 gigawatt. The second phase, our government targeting ambitious plan of 450 gigawatt electricity generation or energy from renewable. These are the indicators. Already we have the energy consumption per capita. Ours is 0.44 ton of oil equivalent. The IEA, they're saying that 2.9 ton of oil equivalent. We have to increase our energy consumption per capita basis. This crude oil we have seen the price fluctuation, and in the past we can also see past 20-30 years of your lifetime also how the fluctuating, and because of this demand supply and other geopolitical also the reasons. So it is not our hand, the crude oil, because these are dependent on other countries. Another one is the IRENA. So International Renewable Energy. So these they're targeting of CO2 emission budget. So they want to reduce, as usual scenario, it will touch of around 1,200 gigaton CO2. But if you restrict somewhere around 790 gigawatt, around somewhere 2038, somewhere another 10 to 15 years. So you get reduce it this, but otherwise actual scenario this will go, it will jump beyond 2 degree centigrade of average global temperature rise. That is not sustainable, right? Irreversibility happening that. This is irreversible loss, repair, we can't do. So we have to be restrict our CO2 emission dumped into atmosphere, and we have to reduce the CO2, and also we have to keep this level of 760. So annual CO2 reduction 9.7 gigaton per year. So then only we can achieve. This is another kind. If you achieve this much 50%, that means 1.5 degrees centigrade. So this is very great. So in this case, we have to be renewable energy deployment is very important. These all how the primary energy resources linked with GDP and CO2 emission. And these all disaggregate model. You can link carbon dioxide and the energy consumption and GDP square, and the error constant alpha is a constant. These are the general governing equation for linkage of CO2, energy consumption and GDP. So if you can say that this disaggregate model, you can substitute how much coal, how much oil, how much natural gas, or also you can see how the CO2 coming down. If maximizes coal usage, what will be CO2 will come down? What is GDP? What is maximize natural gas? Maximize the crude oil, or multiple way of usage of primary energy resources. This governing equation will tell you, right, sustainability and linkage of CO2 and GDP and energy consumption. These beta and 2, 3 will say that either increasing relationship, suppose GDP increases, your CO2 emission increases, GDP increases, CO2 decreases, GDP increases, CO2 increases, some point of time decreases, and GDP increases, inverted U and U. So these all coming down, what is significance? The energy efficiency improvement also will happen. CO2 increases, and suppose inverted U curve say. GDP increases, initially CO2 increases, later it's a decrease because energy efficiency improvement of energy system. That's what it's a declining of CO2, as well as low carbon fuel substitution. That is also will come down. So this is all possible. CO2 emission increases, afterwards is coming down. This is, you can say, GDP versus CO2. Also you can see it's at somewhere. Sometimes what happens, right? You are using something, is U curve also happening. It's not sustainable. So initially some period will decreases, and it's again it is not sustainable. And decreasing is we want to that how to achieve it, because suddenly we can't change zero carbon fuels, and increasing is not sustainable. GDP increases and the CO2 increase, so it's not justified. So we want some inverted U one say. So you can do this governing equation. You can check coal, oil, gas, and electricity. These are the general governing equation for this aggregated energy analysis. You can do, it's a lot of study you can do using this basic governing equations. A lot of models are available. The projection future 2050, 2030, if the GDP increases 10%, 12%, 15%, how much energy consumption, how much energy supply? It is a very tough task how to predict in future. In future, even another 5 years, another 10 years, another 30 years, because what are the growth in industrial sector, growth in service sector, growth in agricultural sector, growth in residential sector. So one thing we can clear that our population increases and energy usage increase, at least residential. Your home energy use will increases. You can see before 10 years or before 30 years, you can compare your father era, how much energy used for your residential, your forefather era, but your era, how much using, your son daughter era, you can see, because they will all switch on your air conditioner 24/7. You limited switch on only 8 hours, because night time or daytime, whatever, but your son daughter, they will switch on always 24. If you are asking question, why papa you want to switch off air conditioner? It is a very tough situation you can handle. You can explain to the kids. Means you have to give the answer for that. For their generation, we have to be achieve affordable energy. So these are the models available, even most, right? So these all are IEA model available, and even Western countries model available. That is for their specific country. But our countries, we have to develop our specific energy model. Energy model means you are giving a lot of input. It is giving this much energy need. Then only the investment will come. This energy sector, cement industry is going up, steel industry is going up. For that, energy investment will come, and also first of all, resource we are having. Yes, we are having resources, solar and other renewable biomass, and technology. Yes, we are available, and manpower trade is available. Then automatically investment will come. So we have to make proper ecosystem. The CO2 emission, this is a very interesting fact. The CO2 emission increased now today, maybe 415 ppm, 416 ppm. If you look at, if you go 50,000 or 4 lakh, 3 lakhs years before, you can go. It's a very interesting fact. Nature adjusted even 4 lakhs a year, 280 ppm to 180 ppm, and again increasing, again touching 280, again 180. So somewhere it's maintaining around 300 level, 280 ppm level. See, decreasing means your vegetation, biomass growth will be higher, CO2 decreases. Again increases means volcano CO2 and forest fire, other things are again increasing. Decreasing is nature adjusted within span of 280 to 180 ppm of CO2 in the atmosphere. But 1950, post 1950, because of industrial era, human-made energy system emitting CO2, that is jumping from 280 ppm to now 415 ppm of CO2. So this is available in the atmosphere. This is trapping sun energy, and it is leading to global warming and climate change. Average temperature increases, glacier melting, and the sea level increases. The coastal area will immerse, island will immerse. You can evidence this European Unions. Many of the countries are the seawater intruded into the countries, and flood, drought. Many endangered species, some species will die. So this we have to reduce it to, I think we can stop somewhere. We can come down to 280, that is negative emission. You might be known negative emission of now talking that. So negative emission means removal of CO2 from the atmosphere. Here emission mitigation, you don't CO2 dump to atmosphere. This is all that. And these are IEA estimate around this much million ton of CO2 from 1990. It is 335 times we emitted to atmosphere. Of course, compared to global, ours is very low CO2. This is sustainable environment. The left side, if you more emissions CO2, then soil quality, air quality, and water quality will deteriorate. Then CO2 emission 280 before 1950, but increases 380. Then again 1000 ppm at the end of this era. If go as usual scenario, this all vital sources all will die. Ecosystem will severely affected. Will be severely affected because pH level of water will come down. CO2 will dissolve in the seawater. So pH level will come down. So these are the vital organs. Like so, these coral reef and these are all basic, biomass under the ocean. The right left hand side, how will be the growth of this plant, and right hand side, if CO2 is 1000 ppm in the atmosphere, CO2 also partly will dissolve in the water. So the pH level is acidic, ocean acidic. This the basic vital source of all will die. So the coral skeleton will be damaged because of ocean acidification. It's a severe eco damage. What is CO2 mitigation? Energy efficiency and fuel change from high carbon, low carbon biofuels and CCS with thermal power plant and renewable energy. These are the mitigation of CO2 emissions. These are the CO2 budget already we have seen. And they say that how to decrease, because now these are energy related. Now what it is means building this which has to transport, domestic, district heat, power, industry. But now you have to be reduced to this level. So 9.7 gigaton per year in 20. So these much to this much we got to be reduce CO2. What are the things? One is renewable energy use 41%, electrification 13%, energy efficiency improved 40%, other. So renewable energy, electrification, energy efficient, other combination of 4, we can achieve the required CO2 emission reduction by 2050. These all renewable energy base. If the renewable energy, solar, water will take wind, generating electricity, good grid and distribution, and go to any. One is oxygen. Nowadays you are talking that surplus electricity is there. Put electrolyzer and produce hydrogen. Electrolyzer also will give oxygen as a byproduct. That also can be used to hospital, and hydrogen, convert hydrogen and fuel cell, give electricity. So hospitals need emergency power. One is grid emergency. So you can also see oxygen and electricity through renewable. So zero emission vehicle because the emission and also the improving fuel economy. So 4 battery electric vehicle, hydrogen hybrid, hydrogen fuel cell, hydrogen internal combustion engines. So these all the coal power plant, photovoltaic wind, the whatever electricity produced go to there and go to the your industrial sector, etc. So distributions, and this is surplus is there, surplus. Then you can give to battery electric vehicle, hybrid, and again electrolyzer and hydrogen and fuel cell are using that. So that means, what do you mean that electricity is available in this country? Electricity is a fuel. Okay. So you do X. So electricity to fuel, that means hydrogen is one of the way. It's energy storage. Like you can say this directly grid will go to the industry, residents, etc. Surplus will be converted into electrolyzer hydrogen using the fuel cell, and directly also you can use electric vehicle. And now battery versus hydrogen, the energy storage. So battery having setback of large and capital investment, etc. Hydrogen will be another alternative. And these are the weight basis of fuel cell, IC engines, and battery electric vehicle. So we will see this all in some other forum of zero emission vehicle. and of course, some coming speaker will explain you in detail. So another one, the E20, our Government of India planning to implement E20 by 2025. Another 5 years time we are implementing. In this case, our the net import 185 million ton at cost of this much billion. So this much savings and E20 program, this means now this much rupee 30,000 crore will save, and also ethanol will be carbon neutral, and also ethanol nowadays producing from sugarcane molasses, and that is limited, and also we have to explore lignocellulose biomass, that is also resources for ethanol production. So we can search, explore lignocellulosic biomass from low water consuming crop. That means that is also very good income to farmers. This rural economy will be improved, boost. So that is another initiative. And shale gas, ONGC explored. This is under rock. These are natural gas that also having huge resources in Western country, especially America, having large, and we are now exploring 750 to 800 tons. But in future, we can explore then Kaveri, Godavari basin, and even Andhra Pradesh. Lot of shale gas potential is there. So this is another one we can explore. Another one is hydrates. Hydrates means in the ocean under. Then methane is a frozen methane. Frozen methane with other minerals all embedded. It's like a ice methane under the ocean, deeper ocean. That is the hydrates. Methane hydrate. That is also available. But a lot of study, lot of investigation needs to be done. How much quantification of hydrate and coal bed methane, above coal bed, how much methane available, and shale gas. This also we can explore. That is one of the estimate. This also can be replaced of our crude oil requirement. Maybe they estimate saying 50%, 70%, 80%. So, but the number will be uncertain now. But coming years, it will be clear how much potential of shale gas, methane hydrate, and coal bed methane. These all will be available. These are estimate. So, 2050 energy security. 2050, how much India needs energy supply and demand. So today we are here 2021, around 40 units you can say. Around 2050 is the best case, right? The optimistic scenario is around 160 or 170. That was 4 times, almost 4 times higher energy supply compared to today. And the worst scenario also 120. This you can say even comparing 40 is 123 times. That means whatever energy consumption today, if you look at another 30 years, 3 to 4 times of energy supply need to the industrial, commercial, residential, agricultural, all sectors. This much growth will be there as per EEA forecast. But now either 4 times or 4.5 times or 3.5 times, let it be another 20% either. Also, it is also can get some kind of the approximate figure what sources needs to be explored, and we make it ready of this much energy supply for the targeted GDP, sustainable development with CO2 reduction. That is one indication from EIA. Another one is the British Petroleum BP sources. So what is saying that today 2018 the percentage, this is the exajoule, is the rapid scenario, net zero scenario, business as usual scenario of today. The same pattern will continue. This much coal, this much oil, this much natural gas, these renewables In this case, right, oil will be 22%, 2050, and gas 10%, coal will be 40%, nuclear 3.2, and hydro 2.7, renewables 22, and the net zero. Suppose you want to say the net zero, whatever 2050 target, whatever our commit 20-30% of CO2 emission reduction. So oil shares would be this much. Oil shares would be so 4.9%, gas 10%, and renewables should be increased 69%. That means 2/3 energy should come from renewable. Then only we can achieve net zero emission. Let us say whatever you are saying, 800 million tons oil equivalent or 910 million tons of oil equivalent today. Then you can multiply 3 times or 4 times of 2050 and multiply with the 0.75. 2/3. These much gigawatt should come from renewable, and oil has to be decreased this much, and coal. And rapid cases, the immediately want to have the result. The renewable has to go almost 50%. 50%. So then hydro this one, this one. So these all the BP because the methodology will be different for every organization. At least this will give some indicative figure. The absolute figure may not be important now. What is the indicative figure, a qualitative figure, so that we can prepare to explore the new energy sources, and we prepare the cutting edge technologies, and we prepare human resources. Tomorrow hydrogen is coming there. Where our people BTech, MTech, PhD, have you trained properly? They will take up the hydrogen or the shale gas or the coal-bed methane or many aspects of renewable, solar thermal, solar PV. These they will take over in the industry. So we also has to be move aligned with whatever the result available. The finally Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog, this is the energy demand, buildings, industrial sector, and transport. Industrial sector is the highest, right? And building and transport and other sectors also there. These are energy demand, and it's also increased. The energy supply, coal is the highest, oil and the natural gas and the renewables and biomass and bioenergy and the cogeneration waste energy, these all. But in future, 2047, our energy independence, so 2047, another 100 years, while celebrating, we should have. So oil, as is the scenario going high, then this has to be calmed down. This has to be calmed down. How to do it? Instead of oil, we'll go hydrogen, ethanol, and electricity. That means EV vehicle, ethanol fueled vehicle, E100, and hydrogen fueled IC engine fuel cell. 3 things will play the basically hydrogen, electricity from renewable, ethanol from biomass. So this curve will be decreased after flattening somewhere 227 we can go flattening. It has to come down. And is it possible 0% crude? Let us see on this plan. But how much decreasing? Similar phase in coal. Coal increasing. Now coal has to decline. Then coal to methanol has to be produced and renewable will take over. Then coal will come down. The similar phase in natural gas with the shale gas, coal bed gas and hydrate all supply our energy. Indigenous resource will increase. So today Niti Aayog that and all will join together, will explore how to bring down now 60% of our dependence, 40%, 41% dependence, export dependence. It has to come to 0%. That means Atmanirbhar Bharat. What our government saying that indigenous sources, indigenous technology will be available from 60% to 100% energy security. What do you mean? This country, the renewable side, electricity is one of that. Whatever PV, photovoltaic, everything, electricity. Electricity is a hydrogen, and this is one aspect. Another is electricity, EV vehicle, another one. Biomass to ethanol is another one, right? So then we can reduce primary energy supply to these all. And of course, nuclear, thoriums, based nuclears, and shale gas, this all will come to place. At this moment, these are the scenario that, and you all people will work together. Even your whatever belong to your state, also you can explore what are the new renewable sources. Then that will be, you can publish, that will be good for the planning of energy in future. All will be. So I'll stop my talk at this, because this is a continuation that this is energy security is a vast the topic, and a lot of challenges and a lot of brainstorming needing that, lot of study, lot of research, very yeah. So
Yes, sir.
thank you for patiently listening of my talk, and if you have any queries, I'll try to answer.
Any query from participant? Any
All
query
the
from
participants, I guess. All the participants, please note, interactive discussion is very necessary to gain something. Do not hesitate, ask the questions. We have also launched one scheme that every day we will be selecting one participant who will be taking in healthy discussion, taking part. So we will be awarding certificate and something else as well at the concluding session. So feel free to interact.
Good morning, Subramaniam sir.
Good morning.
Sir, when I was doing graduation during 1985, that is around say 35 years ago. At that time, people were putting, experts used to come and they used to plot the graph and say that after 20 years, there will be no petrol, no diesel. So now also we are plotting something. So why? So how should we plot these things so that they really are more truthful?
Yeah. So thank you. So before 35 years also, people thought of that at the 2000 years, no crude oil. But still we are using crude oil. Our energy is more the supply chain. The resources, production, storage, transportation, dispensing, utilization is the vast domain. It is not like a software app or mobile phone or computer. It is a one. But this is a many stakeholders has to join together, and also we need huge investment for making infrastructure. And also technological challenges. We taught even your era, ethanol, you might be talked at the time before 30, 40 years. We achieved now 10% ethanol, and 2025, 20% will be achieved. Maybe another 1 decade, 2 decade, we may achieve 100%. That means the issues are many. Ethanol, for you and me, we studied in the engine, technology is ready. But OEM point of view, what is the durable issues? How much the corrode, how much engine failure, how much usefulness, all will they seeing that lot of supply chain integration, infrastructure development, that is the one, it happening one. Second thing is, the hydrogen cases. Hydrogen cases hardly put. Lot of things issued, like 2000 years, the safety issues, and 2005 energy storage issues, and the 2010 fuel cell issues, 2020 again coming the catalyst issues, 2030 something will come. We are addressing one by one, because the researcher will concentrate something main challenges that taking time. Even energy storage, it takes another 2-3 decades. Now people come out some solution, type 3, type 4, the cylinder for hydrogen storage. That means researchers are keep on working and that much time is needing that. So today we are presenting the 2050, what will be? That today we are focusing on ethanol 100, it will take 10 years also, 30 years also. Because biodiesel case, 2000 we have talked, but we thought 2010 will happen. But something happening of the grassroots result, because there is a biodiesel cases, what we thought not getting from the ground, because the available resources and the oil content, these all many things, and some other cold flow properties, that is also another things. Engine point of view successful, but the fuel side still. So like this, some challenges going on, right? And international scenery also influencing of that, because hydrogen we are talking about, we need fuel cell technology, we have to be dependent on other countries. So all as a global we are working. That's what this is based on evidence. Today we are presenting evidence. These are the data available on the ground. Based on that, we are projecting that. This is what demand is there. Electricity demand is there. Hydrogen demand is there. Electricity is there. Demand, supply. This much 450 gigawatt electricity, what will do? Electricity has to convert to hydrogen or some other useful product or electric vehicle. The similar way, lignocellulosic biomass, this much available. What will do? We will convert to ethanol. These all coming that I think pessimistic, optimistic approach will be there. Always they will advocate, will be good for exploring the solution to the problems. But I hope you can appreciate what we thought of earlier, ethanol today is happening. What today we are projecting hydrogen, it will happen. Maybe your or my service may not be happening, but we should work. But maybe your daughter, son era will happen. That is, but we are all optimistic. It will be happening another 5 to 10 years of this all will happen. Right now, energy need for higher GDP growth. That is another aspect is coming there. So I think this will all gear up, ramp up. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Can I ask some?
Yeah, sure. Please welcome, sir.
Okay, sir. Sir, I just want to know what is your opinion regarding that we are talking about. So my question is this, are we near the end of the IC engine age? Nowadays, so some countries like Germany and other companies, they are saying very soon or within few years, we don't have any IC engine. We can go towards this electric powered vehicle. So what is your opinion regarding that?
Yes, the UK, some European countries,
yes,
they're saying that. Yes, IC engine, the day invented by Rudolf Diesel.
Yes.
The day one, the people are thought of that we should not use IC engine. That is a more than 100 years history of IC engine. The fact is that none of the technologies meeting of IC engine. These for torque, power, and the kind of performance. But the question will come to that, whether IC engine will be exist or not. It will be. But the growth will be restricted. See, now, what is the situation? Two-wheeler, three-wheeler, completely electric vehicle. And four-wheeler, lower segment will be electric. Higher segment, at high power, and multi-utility vehicle, all will be fuel cell. Or IC engine, hydrogen fueled IC engine. And the truck, all will be diesel based, will be converted into LNG, liquefied natural gas, or ethanol fueled or hydrogen fueled IC engine. Because the larger capacity engine is a costlier fuel cell, bigger catalyst, and the kind of durable issues. IC engine is cheapest one. So in the world, they are not talking IC hydrogen fueled IC engine. The reason being is they did not study well on hydrogen fueled IC engine. Thanks to our MNRE, especially IIT Delhi, more than 4 decades we have studied hydrogen fueled IC engine. The technology is exclusively available with India, indigenous. But fuel cell is highest efficiency. So the IC engine is restricted for two-wheeler, three-wheeler, and a lower segment of passenger car. That will come electric vehicle and fuel cell and higher capacity, the multi-utility vehicle or truck will be IC engine will be there. And the ethanol fueled, that ethanol fueled vehicle is not termed as a polluting vehicle. The CO2 coming from ethanol is a carbon neutral. That's also zero emission vehicle. So our country is moving towards ethanol. So that means IC engine will be there, but the growth will be limited, but it should be there.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Any query from participant side? Is there any query? Okay.
Sir, I have one query.
Yes.
Sir, in your lab, have you done some experiment to install CNG for diesel engine and test it?
Yes. We have done. We have purchased. What we do is dual fuel engine, CNG diesel, biogas diesel, hydrogen diesel. All we have done dual fuel mode, and also published of these findings in that.
Yes, sir. One thing I would like to supplement regarding, sir asked about earlier we have been studying, now fossil fuels are remaining for 70, 75 years or 50 years. These estimates keep on fluctuating. So one of the reason little bit this demand is fluctuating and some new reservoirs are being searched out. But there is one thing sure, there is no reservoir which have been created in this 100, 200 or 300 years. Whatever we have, these reservoirs are thousands years old. So there is no production of fossil fuel is possible. So definitely one day this fossil fuel is going to completely vanish. And another one, my query or discussion I want to have, that hydrogen will be our future fuel. But how long it will take that hydrogen we will be using as fuel for fuel cell, not for IC engine?
Yeah. So complementing that is there is no reservoir much export past 2 decades, but something is export. The demand of crude oil is very high. Whatever exploration will not be sufficient. So fossil fuel will not be vanished. It will be there, but that will not meet the demand of the energy. So that is one. And secondly, hydrogen. How long it will take? This is the 2000 onwards, very hardly implement 2000 year onwards. Hydrogen, lot of challenges, what I said, what is energy storage, energy safety, that all almost addressed now. Now hydrogen means fuel cell. Yes, hydrogen means fuel cell because the efficiency of fuel cell is higher than IC engine. That. So hydrogen fuel cell, that's what right. But at the same time, the capital cost of fuel cell is very high and operating cost will be lower. And if you look at the average transportation cost for 1 lakh kilometer, 1.5 lakh kilometer, whatever coming average transport cost, even is lower than if hydrogen fueled IC engine. Hydrogen fueled IC engine, even the capital cost very, very low. Operating cost will be higher. Of course, efficiency is at 85%, fuel cell will be 45-50%. So, again, the hydrogen fueled IC engine, hydrogen fueled fuel cell, 2 will be there as per our results showing. How you can say, you can take it on the ground, diesel fueled compressed ignition engine, gasoline fueled or CNG fueled spark ignition engine. What speculation happened before few decades? Diesel engine will get life. SA engine will be vanished because efficiency of because compressor is limited. Efficiency of SA engine will be lower, mileage will be lower. SA engine will not be on the road. But what happened, right? Vulnerability from the diesel engine because of particulate matter that unable to sort it out such a whatever the count, the size. The single most reason the diesel engine unable to continue further, but SA engine catch up like a CNG, ethanol, hydrogen. So that is another way of birth of spark ignition engine will be how the 2 engine will rule of so many decades SA and CA, similar fashion. Now, the businessman will purchase a car, he will know that I will purchase the diesel vehicle because he's flying off 100 km, 200 km. It's economical for them. Capital cost investment will be higher, but he is also getting out better service. But you and me, we are purchasing SA engine car. Your car also SA, my car also SA. The reason being is that we are traveling 2 km, 1 km per day, 5 km for office. The hardly matter of 10 minutes, 20 minutes of travel, almost 8, 10 to are simply standing in front of our office. So we are innovating ourselves, SA engine for our short term distance and CA engine for long term. The similar fashion tomorrow of hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, if a businessman will be there, he will fly 100 200 kilometer, he will purchase hydrogen fuel cell for long. But if office people 2-3 kilometer going, 10 kilometer going, they'll purchase hydrogen fueled IC engine that is cheapest, even lower than BS6 vehicle. So that is what, that is all will be there, right? And the high segment, truck segment, that hydrogen fuel IC is very economically competitive because of fuel cell durable issues there. Of course, disruptive technology will happen, at least everything. But that will be, anyway, the outcome is zero emission and lower capital cost, lower transport cost, all will be. So that's what we foresee of. Hydrogen fuel IC engine also will be there. Hydrogen fuel cell also will be there, like CAS. Yes. Okay, Professor Amit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Last call for questions now. Okay, otherwise we will thank, yes, somebody?
Yeah, sir, I just want to ask one thing. Actually, in your one slide, one electricity we are importing like 0.39%. Is it from Bhutan or Nepal?
Yeah, some neighbor country, is cheaper way. Yes. That is also we are exploring that. If they are supplying with very cost, that's also fine. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Go to you, sir.
Yeah, so if there is no question further, we thank Professor Subramaniam for his valuable talk. And one of the important aspect of our STTP is there are many aspirants for PhD program. So this is an opportunity to interact with the experts and to get familiar with the experts. So those who want to pursue their PhD programs, they may